Hey guys, so I had a subscriber request that I do a review on the Paramilitary 2. So that's what this is. Let's go ahead and get into some specs. Overall length is 8.2 inches, close length is 4.8, blade length is 3.4, and cutting edge is 3 inches. Blade thickness is 3.5 millimeters, and the weight is 3.75 ounces. Let's take a look at the handle. The handle is G10, and this G10 is very, very grippy. It has a lot of traction. It's actually grippier than the Manix 2, and I like it. It just locks you right in. It ain't going anywhere. It's awesome G10. And the pattern on this particular one that I got was digital camo. And I really like the fact that both scales are different, and all the patterns are different on their Digicam models, and so no Paramilitary 2 is probably the same with the different scales. You can also get this in, the same Digicam handles with the black blade as well. Or you can get a black G10 with satin or black blade. On the handle, we have our torque screws, nice large torque screws there. They're flush with the handle. We have a huge lanyard hole. It's ginormous. Probably fit 2 strands of 550 paracord in there. On the back we have standard Spyderco hourglass pocket clip. It can be changed up for tip up to down left or right hand carry. Take a look at the blade. Probably one of my favorite things about this knife is the blade shape. I love the blade shape. It's really awesome. I love the sweep that it has, and it's all belly, It's great. It's rocking the full flat grind, which makes it an awesome awesome slicer. Slice really, really well. That's my favorite grind. Especially for EDC. It can do anything. The steel is CPM S30V. S30V was the first steel that was specifically made just for pocket knives. And what CPM S30V steel is it's a powdered, hardened steel that's really, really tough and corrosive resistance, holds an edge really, really well, and it has a really even distribution of the vanadium carbides in it, so it's more of a fine grain, and holds an edge really, really well. An extremely long time compared to softer steels. It's a lot harder, but because it's harder, it can chip sometimes, so you really have to be careful with that. But it's a really tough steel, holds an edge for a really long time, and it's the start of the super steels. So, and the great thing about it, steel is made in America. So probably one of my favorite steels for sure. This is the first knife I've had with CPM S30V, and so far I really like it. I really do. It competes with VG10, which I love VG10, and this is, definitely a competitor for it. Anyways, on to different things. The hole is huge. It's massive. The spider hole, it's huge. You can just fit your whole, finger in there. It's great. But, huge hole. Of course, you got the Spyderco logo. You see this, this tells you the steel Spyderco. And, it's made in Golden, Colorado, USA, Earth. So, it's not made by aliens, made by Americans on the planet Earth. So, yeah, it's a good thing. You got Eric and Sal Glesser's signature logo things on there. Pretty cool. For a full flat ground, this has a really nice thick blade stock. I really like it. It's nice and thick compared to like the Enduro or something. Comes to a nice fine tip there, which is kind of delicate. But if you use your knife for its intended purpose, then that shouldn't be a problem. Jipping on this knife is awesome. The thumb ramp jipping locks your thumb right in there. Just great. Has some jipping on the handle right here. It's pretty cool. But thumb ramp jipping is awesome. Also has jipping on the finger choil. So when you choke up on the blade, you don't, slip forward and slash your finger open. Really comfortable. Really locks it in with the G10 and everything. It just locks it right in. Which brings me to ergonomics. This knife is extremely comfortable in hand. Extremely comfortable. In any grip you want it. Hold it back here, you want to choke up. It's just extremely comfortable in hand. Not as comfortable as the Manix 2. But it has really good ergonomics. Very comfortable knife. Next thing we'll talk about is the compression lock. Some people think that the compression lock is like a backwards liner lock, but it really isn't at all. If you can see here, you see that in the tang of the blade, there's a like a shelf right there, right here. There's like a shelf in there, or cut out. And you see back here, there's a liner right there. It's part of the liner in the back, and it there's a stop pin that'll stop the blade. So what happens is this part right here hits a stop pin, and the shelf will be exposed. And what the liner will do right here, it'll wedge itself right in between the stop pin and the tang of the blade. So let's see if you can see that again. Here, got this shelf right there, stop pin, liner. Watch it wedge itself in there. Kind of blurry, but anyways, it wedges itself in there, and the more you use it, the stronger the lock will get. Hence, it compresses all together. Hence the name compression lock. But it's really easy to disengage. You just slide this over, and the blade will fall. Usually, it's a really fun knife to play with. I mean, you can just flick it all day. Great for middle finger flick. There we go. Detent on this blade is awesome. Like, it ain't coming out of there unless you make it. Like, you can shake it all day long. It ain't coming out at all. But just to get past the detent, like, you have to push it so hard, and just deploys extremely fast. Very, very smooth. Very fast deployment. Very, very smooth blade. It's extremely smooth. I love it. Let's do some size comparison real quick while I'm thinking about it. There's your Para 2. Manix 2. Something that most people have. Tenacious. Move this out of the way. Delica. And another favorite by a lot of people here on YouTube, Kershaw Skyline. So you can see, have an idea of the size of it. Overall, this blade is just absolutely amazing. You can't get better than this. Also, something I just remembered, those liners in there, the steel liners, are really milled out, as you can see. And that really helps with the weight, cutting down the weight. So Spyderco did a great job with trying to get this knife as light as possible. And but anyways, as I was saying, this knife, it can be used in any role whatsoever, in my opinion. Great for EDC, utility task, and or tactical use for self-defense. It could even be used, in the woods as a camping or a bush knife. Not really bushcraft, but anyways, the late Boy Scout actually tested this really, really hard use on this knife. It did some crazy things to it. He abused it and just did all this crazy things to it. And it's still, at the end of the day, after whacking trees and, cutting up branches and doing all this crazy stuff with it, it still had a pretty darn good edge on it. And there was very little blade play, and it was amazing. He was amazed at how it stood up to all that hard use. But overall, right now, this knife is definitely my favorite in my collection. Um, it's absolutely amazing knife. It's worth every penny. The value is definitely worth it for sure. If you don't have one, go get one. It's highly recommended. Anyways, you guys, thanks for watching. Subscribe, please. As always, take it easy and stay sharp.